It's no doubt that everybody knows who the Bloodline is. They dominated the WWE for years. But what is each member known for? We know that Roman Reigns is the tribal chief. Jey Uso is main event Jey Uso. Solo Sikoa at the time was the enforcer. You have Sami Zayn, who was the honorary Us. Stay Usi. Now you have Jacob Fatu, who was the Samoan werewolf. But what is Jimmy Uso known for? I believe that he is the most loyal of the Bloodline. Jimmy Uso returned in May of 2021. He came back to save Jey Uso from the tyranny of Roman Reigns. We all know that Roman was just taking Jey through it. We know the year before at Night of Champions they had a match, and then he had that Hell in a Cell I Quit match in which Roman Reigns put the guillotine on Jimmy Uso, and then Jey said I quit. He wouldn't have quit if it wasn't for Jimmy Uso, but he could not take to see his brother getting choked out like that. We all know that Jimmy was trying to talk some sense into him and say, hey, you don't got to deal with this. But Jey Uso was so intent on staying because he's like, you know what? I have to be there for the tribal chief. I acknowledged him, and that's it. You just have to acknowledge him. Uso was always on to Roman. Matter of fact, he told him, you got to stop manipulating him. You got to stop manipulating him. But Roman said one thing. Roman was telling Jimmy, you're the older brother. You should be looking out for Jey. That Roman shouldn't have to depend on Jey. He should have to depend on Jimmy, and that it's about all of them. See, but even after he said that, Jimmy Uso was still always on to him. There was always tension between Roman Reigns and Jimmy Uso. Jimmy just went along with it because he is his brother's keeper. He wants to always look out for Jey Uso. But it came to an end at Night of Champions 2023 when Jimmy Uso had enough. He turned on Roman Reigns and told Jey, I'm doing what you should have did a long time ago. And that's when the civil war of the Bloodline started. Fast forward to SummerSlam of 2023, Jey Uso versus Roman Reigns for the undisputed WWE Championship. But what did Jimmy do? He came in and he cost Jey Uso the match and the championship. But his heart was still in the right place when he cost Jey Uso. He told him, you know what? I was just looking out for you. You was going to turn into Roman Reigns. You was going to turn into a pure manipulator and tyrant. And that's when the brotherly feud of the Usos began. At Blood 2024, Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns versus Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa. Jimmy returned again after being taken out by Solo Sikoa for 6 months. So he helped Roman Reigns. And that following week on SmackDown, he told him, I only came back and helped you because you needed me. Again, proving that he is loyal. The Usos reunited and they was on talking terms again. Jimmy was there for Jey after he won the Royal Rumble, and then he chose Gunther and he went after the World Heavyweight Championship. He's being loyal and being his brother's keeper. He fought Jey's battle against Gunther on the road to WrestleMania. Jey went on to WrestleMania 41, defeating Gunther and becoming the new World Heavyweight Champion. And Jimmy Uso was right there beside him, celebrating the biggest win of his career. Monday Night Raw, October 2025. Roman Reigns tells Jimmy Uso, I hear and see everything. What's wrong with Jey taking advice from me? What Roman was referring to was what Jimmy Uso said on Raw Recap to Megan Morant and Sam Roberts. Then Jimmy told Roman, I hear and see everything too. He sees that he's twisting Jey's mind up, and Jey is nothing like Roman. Then Roman said, when Jey won the World Championship, he became more like himself and less like Jimmy. If you really want to help Jey, you got to get out of his way. At this time, Jey was going after a second World Championship reign, and Roman was giving him his guidance. But Jimmy Uso, rightfully so, was still worried about Jey Uso, and that if he gets this championship, he's going to become more like Roman Reigns. He's even said to Roman, you got this championship and it's making you crazy. So, of course, he's worried about his brother. We move into a battle royal to determine who will be CM Punk's opponent to face him at Saturday Night's main event for the vacated World Heavyweight Championship because my GOAT got injured. But anyway, we know it's not about him, but you know me, I gotta throw him in there somewhere. So, that's what happened. And then what did Jimmy say to Jey? He told him, basically the first chance I get, I'm gonna throw you out. So, what happened? Jey Uso eliminated Jimmy Uso. And Jimmy brought it up to him. He said, why you throw me out? You know, it was supposed to be us two, the last two in the Battle Royal. And then you throw me out like that? And then Jay was just like, you know, but you said you was going to throw me out first. Which he's right, he was. You know, it's every man for himself. But even then, Jimmy was still trying to be loyal, even though there was some type of miscommunication there. Roman Reigns, the OTC, the head of the table, the tribal chief, he is now the world heavyweight champion. The bloodline is back together. Now, who is the person that steps up to Roman Reigns to be his first challenger? Is it Jay? No. Is it Jimmy? No. It is none other than a Samoan werewolf, Jacob Fatu. And even then, he was still even being loyal to Jacob Fatu because he told him, you know, basically, I'm here for you. You know, I still love you. Like, I'm here for you. Here's where things get interesting. LA Knight, we all know he's good with LA Knight, you know? But LA Knight is telling him, you know, I kind of like you. I kind of like Jay. I could deal with you more than Jay. But you're going to be Roman's errand boy again? That's what you're going to go back to? So now you have LA Knight in his ear. He's telling him, you know, take this with all respect, but you need to take this as a lesson from the past. And, you know, maybe Jimmy's starting to think about it, right? But he's still being loyal. Then we see Roman Reigns. He's hyping up Jey Uso for the King of the Ring. Like, you know, you got to go after Cody because we all know that he doesn't want Jey Uso to go after his world championship. So he's going to send him straight after the American Nightmare. But nonetheless, he is hyping Jay up. He is not even looking at Jimmy twice. And then you have Seth Rollins. When the King of the Ring tournament started to begin, Jey Uso told Seth Rollins that he was going to win the King of the Ring and that he's taking the championship from Cody Rhodes. But Seth said that he's not going to win the King of the Ring, but at least that's one way he could say for Big Jim. Big Jim isn't even in the tournament. Big Jim is on the sidelines right where Roman wants him. This past Monday Night Raw, Roman Reigns gifted Jacob Fatu and Ula Fowler. So Jimmy and Jay's in the back like, what is going on? Are you serious right now? He's going to gift him an Ula Fowler and not us. We've been through way more than him with you, and you give him the Ula Fowler. Are you serious right now? But Jimmy, being Jimmy, he urges Jay to come on. Let's just go stand beside him. He's the first one to go stand beside Roman and put his ones up in the air. But here's the thing. This is not Jimmy's first time being snubbed for something like this. December 2023, Roman Reigns named Solo Sikoa as the tribal heir. Roman starts off with saying this is about one man. He's bent over backwards. He's sacrificed everything. You can imagine over the past year or so, this man understands what representing our family means. This man understands what it's like to keep our family at the top of the mountain. He's the next in line. This man is going to be responsible for this bloodline. This is the next tribal heir, the next tribal chief. Jimmy, join me in congratulating Solo. Jimmy, you know, he looked a little bit disappointed because he thought it was going to be him. Roman kind of led him on to thinking, you know, we're close like that because you've been here before Solo got here technically. But Jimmy, again, he still stays being loyal to his bloodline. Later on that night, after Roman gifted Jacob the Ula Fowler, Roman tells Jimmy and Jay, you know, why is LA Knight still running around running his mouth? Like, I'm getting sick of him. Take him out. So, you know, Jay is just like, I'll do it. And then Jimmy's just like, you know, I'll talk to him. I'll do it. Almost like he's trying to prove himself to Roman, like, hey, you know what? I'm Jimmy. I'm here, you know? Look at me. Acknowledge me. You know, I'm still a part of this family. Over the years, he's probably starting to notice he gives me the least attention out of everybody. He's giving Jay the attention. He's giving Solo the attention. You know, he's even giving Sami Zayn the attention and now Jacob Fatu. And I'm still somewhere in the background. But Jimmy has been and continues to be loyal no matter what. Even if he doesn't want to do it because he just loves his family so much, he just wants to be there for him. But when will they start to notice that he is always there and he is always overlooked? But the bigger question is, when will Jimmy Uso get tired of carrying the weight of loyalty?
How can I explain myself? Louisiana shit. Murder on the beat.